All right, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So, today was patch day, and one of the things that I never really thought I would see was Carex being able to be sold on the market, and we're going to show you in-game as well. And we read this on the patch notes, or the Global Lab patch notes, about a week ago. So, basically, what this is, it goes from 10 to 50 billion silver on the central market, I guess, depending on what the supply looks like. But I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about the Carrack, how long it took me a while ago, and is it worth it? And I wanted to talk about basically all the different Carracks that are available. So just to give you an idea of which one you should buy if you're thinking about doing any sort of like ocean content, sailing, bartering, and all that stuff. So we also got a new training item. This is not ocean stuff, but it's a new treasure item that we might be able to go for in the future, and so that's cool. But in game, I wanted to show you guys this one. So you can actually buy a Carrack license now. I think overall the price of them might actually go up, just to like, I don't know if how long, but I think the Carracks will go up just because the amount of time to make it versus just grinding and buying it is going to be different. So I think it will go up to maximum, but it's not something that's going to be sitting all the time. But anyway, so there are 4 different Carracks. There's the Advanced, Balanced, Volante, and Valor. The Advanced and Balance come from the sailboat version. So if you look at, where is it? This one, the registrations. There's basically 2 different ones, the frigate and the sailboat. The sailboat one goes into Advance and Balance, whereas the frigate goes to Valor and Volante. So just to give you a quick idea, you guys can look at all this on the stats page too, but just to give you a realistic idea of what each one does. So I have the Valor, and the Valor is basically like the more damaged boat in a way. So when I got it, it was mostly for wanting to do boat PvP with my friends. And then they added Naval Fame, which that completely killed it. But I think the Valor does, like at min-max, assuming all your gear is like blue plus 10, mine isn't. But in theory, the idea of the Valor is that it does more damage. So if you're doing just ocean dailies, or hunting sea monsters, Leprechaun grinding, the Valor should, in theory, do more damage. The Volante, it's like the speedboat, essentially. So if you're going from bartering point A to B, this Volante would probably be faster. And then I think of the 2 sailboat ones, the Balance and Advance, I think most people just go with Advance simply because just straight up it's better. So one has more weight durability. So like this one has 15,000 versus 16.5. So the Advanced one is better for bartering and like, you know, from trading from point A to B because it can carry the most weight and all that stuff. And it also has the highest inventory slots compared to the other one. So if your goal is to basically just do exclusively bartering, the Advance is for you. Damage one, Valor. Volante is speed. Admittedly, when I've tried them both out and I've raced some of my friends from point A to B just to test boat speeds and everything, this one is not that much faster than the other ones. Like it is, but you're not going to be like minutes faster. It's just faster overall. And then Balance, admittedly, I don't think people choose it unless you're literally just collecting all 4 of them for the sake of collecting them. But overall, I think all of them, if your goal is to just do casual sailing, like, you know, go to Vel every week, it doesn't matter. You're probably going to want to choose Volante for that, but I don't think it matters. But anyway, so yeah, that's basically what I wanted to talk about. I never really knew like they were going to be sellable until about like last week when they had it on the Global Lab. So anyway, what did I want to do? Tell all of you guys. So if you're thinking about making one yourself instead of buying one, I think it's better to just buy it straight up because it's probably easier to grind up to 50 hours, assuming you make one bill and assuming these are max price at 50 billion. I think that you would be better off just buying it. But if you wanted to make it yourself, obviously get one of the frigate or the sailboat. I think, let's say 6 months down the line, all of them will have listings, so like you can actually buy it later. But I think the Volante and Valor are probably going to be the one in higher demand just because they're more situational. But if you're going to make it yourself, I have a video, a pretty detailed guide from a few years ago. And even though the video is a few years ago old, they haven't really updated sailing in terms of like bartering too much. So it's only gotten easier over the years. But here's some tips I wanted to give you guys in terms of if you're thinking about doing any sort of bartering. So let's say you've never done bartering in your life and you don't know what you're doing. What I would do is separate the islands like Ilia Island and Portaferia into two different sections. So what I did was Portaferia would be all your boat upgrade materials. So you're going to need all of these eventually to upgrade your boat into a carrack, right? And some of these are just nodes, but aside from that, let's just say Portaferia is your boat upgrades area. And then if you're doing any bartering, Ilia Island is going to be that, especially if you don't have maxed out inventories. And like, you're going to have to store all of this. I wish they would stack, but they don't. But anyway, so yeah, separate them. And then down here by Encado, I also have some more of these here. Just because if you do any Hakoven Island runs down here, these give a lot. And so the crow coins are pretty substantial over here. So separate your islands into Portaferia being your boat upgrades, Ilia Island being bartering. And if you've never bartered before, I have this on here. So basically you get tier or like level 1, you exchange to level 2, then 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and so on. And then once you get to level 5, you change the level 5s into like money or items. So essentially all of these are for like boat upgrades. And then you could do all these every day. When you do the barter refreshes, if you're making your own, you kind of want to do like material refreshes twice a day and then 2 trade items instead of just doing all of them in a certain one. But the goal is basically to get level 5s and then go out into the ocean and then get the 10 mil trades exchanged. But yeah, those are some tips for you. And yeah, just know that you could pretend this island right here, Lima Island. This is where you exchange materials with, or your crow coins, these thingies over here, for various items. And that's how you also get the green gear as well. So yeah, separate it, assuming this is the halfway point. And if you do a lot of your barters, they'll kind of send you from point A to B all the way across. So it's a good idea to like match where you're going down, like where you're going here. So it sets a easier path for you to auto path. But yeah, overall, just know that sailing and bartering has a lot of items that you're going to have to keep. And so you're going to want to switch up your storages for upgrading and everything. So that's the route. If you choose to make everything yourself, I have a more detailed video. I'll try to leave it in the description. It's a long one, so up to you. But other than that, now you can buy a carrack. And if I were to pick one, it depends once again. So I'll just talk about, let's see. If you are exclusively bartering, Advance is the way to go. If you want to do ocean dailies and sea monster hunting, I think the Volante and Valor are both very good ones. I think the Valor is slightly faster in terms of damage and speed, but if you're just doing sailing dailies, just going from point A to B, I think Volante is a little bit faster. And as for balance, I honestly have not heard many people actually say they wanted to balance, unless it's like significantly cheaper 6 months down the line from now. So yeah, I think all of these are actually, they're solid. I just think that some are more specialized than others. But with that said, that's all. Just a new UI that I haven't seen before. That changed. Interesting. What used to be there, actually? Energy, contribution. And this used to be skill points, wasn't it? Yeah, they used to be skill points. Oh, that changed. I think, oh, that's cool. At least you can see that you have gear on. Hold on. Let me see. Does that update? Oh, it does. Very cool. Anyway, with that said, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Hope you guys learned something. And check out the link in the description to the other video if you're interested in more detailed guide on how to get a Carrack and everything. But it's a lot easier. Just grind and buy it. Anyway, see you guys later.